Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about ABC RPG fantasy in playtest. So I get to have a very nice physical table game, and two people I've been playing TTRPGs with for 10 years, old friends, gave me some feedback. It was extremely helpful. So alter, battle, communicate, right? So one of the things that was really fascinating was the players chose to play a bramble wizard. So that's a living tree like Groot, right, and a wizard. And so I got to see how the spells worked, which was really nice. And what was interesting, what one of the additions I got there was all of my spells are they're inspired by Index Card RPG, so they literally fit on a single line on an 8.5 by 11 page. Like, once you see it done, you're like, holy cows, man! These guys are doing a spell in a single line of text, and D&D's got 5 paragraphs on some of their spells. It's incredible. Um, but I have 20 spells, and they're all a single line of text, all very simple. But one of the things that I got from this playtest was expanded and mastered. So expanded was you expanded means that, like, invisibility. Um, you cast invisibility, and it makes the person invisible until they take any change on any state. So that could be health, mind, or form, right? And so, but if you get expanded, right, then you could expand it to a number of people, or you could put it onto an object, or you could use it in ways that are not specified within that single line, right? And then mastered would be you get a crit on a 1. So one of the things I thought was really interesting is you have to roll for every single spell, right? Which is not the case in D&D. Some of them work, some of them don't, right? It depends, and then somebody else has to make a save, blah blah blah. The spells in Dungeons and Dragons are way too complicated, and it's also really weird that you have 80 pages of spells and the fighter has 5 pages in the book. It's really odd. They tried to fix it in 4E, but I thought this was very interesting. But what was really fascinating was just watching. So basically, multiple times in the session, the player actually, the wizard only cast. I think the wizard cast like 4 different spells out of 20. They had access that they could choose from 20, but each time they were choosing one, they only get 8, right? So this was the spells known, right? And so that was kind of interesting, just seeing how the player walked through that, right? And I also did think, like, and this was something that was really like, literally we were done with with character creation in 10 minutes. Two characters completely ready to play within 10 minutes. And so one of the ways we did that was there were 20 spells in the game, and I'm like, here's the list of the 20 spells. Just, as you use one, you're committing to knowing it, and you have 8 known, right? He also earned 1 additional spell during the game, right? Which was interesting. But mastered is you crit on a 1. So basically, in order to cast a spell, you have to make a check, right? And on that check, you need a 5. Okay, so first of all, you have to have a D8 or a D. Well, actually, that's not true. This is the entire point. If you have a D4 in your, in altar, which is used to cast magic, then you have to use an edge die every single time to succeed. That is by far the most painful part of ABC RPG, and I think that pain has to remain there because there's a lot of tension in it. There's a lot of mechanical. There's a lot of mechanism and a lot of ability for people to kind of build their character within that mechanic. And there's really a lot that's bearing a lot of weight of ABC RPG. But master means you crit on a 1, and I think this crit on a 1 is going to be a major mechanic within the game that I'll be using quite a bit. I thought it was really excellent, and but this was extremely helpful playtest, and if you want to check out ABC RPG Fantasy, you can check it out right in the link below. The playtest is available. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like subscribing and have a fetch millennium.